there folks, how you doing? Last summer, Dexter and I, we went to the Forest of Dean and we spent some time looking after my friend's smallholding. And you probably saw the first video, A Day in the Life of a Temporary Smallholder, part 1. Well, this is part 2! Now it's time for the goats to have their haylage, which I talked about earlier. They love this stuff. So it's important that you have to break it up, make sure it's not in huge, big chunks, so that they can just tear strips of it. That's enough. Okay, all yours. After a day of weeding in the allotments and some of the in the vegetable patch, it's time to start my afternoon chores now. And it's 5:30, and that means it's time to feed the chickens. And I think I have my little entourage with me. There's Dexter, and there's Neve, and if you look closely, here are all the chickens. Hey ladies. How you doing? Are you going to follow me around now? Is it time for some corn? Let's go. Okay, so chicken feed. First of all, what the chickens have is they get a scoop of this lovely corn. There you go. Can't see that light. There you go. Lovely corn. So we get this first. What happens with the corn is you just throw that into the orchard, into their area, and they all start pecking away at it. And what they actually do is they start storing it around their feathers so they can eat more later on. Very clever. Hey, right, ladies? Right, okay. Go on then. There you go. As you can see, they love their corn. And then it's back in the tumble down shed again, and it's now time for them to get, so they get a couple of scoops of this, which is some corn and some other stuff. I don't really know, but I know they love it. And they also get couple of scoops of these pellets. Okay. And then the thing that I had no idea about is they get this stuff here, which is oyster shell, crushed up oyster shell, which apparently makes their eggs a bit firmer. It all around for them, and here we go. And it's time to fill up their little feeding containers. There we go. Another one here. Here's one of the old birds. Go on then, my lovely. So they've got 4 feeding containers that I need to make sure are full, and I need to check that their water's full as well. Yep. So I'll leave these guys now, these ladies, and I'll come back later on when they will mostly, hopefully, have put themselves to bed. Here I pops. Now it's time to start watering. First I start off by filling up the goat's water. They're growing loads of different sorts of beans, and I think these might be the chickpeas that they're growing. And then we've got the peas, and here we've got some black beans and some potatoes. Ah, well, this one's cracked open. So, if you look inside, the peas, and they are delicious. I'm going to make myself a nice risotto out of these later on. And the great thing is the goats, they love the pods. I'm putting these to the goats. And now we're in the polytunnel, where there are lots and lots and lots of tomatoes growing. All sorts of tomatoes. Plum tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, vine tomatoes, loads. And there's some aubergines and some peppers and some gherkins and courgettes. And chili peppers. And here are some of those peppers. That one there's a monster. Some of the aubergines there. The gherkins. And lots of tomatoes. Some more corn and some more beans there. And here we've got the salad and the onions. We've got a load of onions drying in the workshop. And here they've got potatoes, beetroot, carrots, all sorts. Claire's been to milk the goats. She ended up doing them both because the goat whose kidneys only taken from one udder was quite stressed because the udder that hasn't had any milk taken from it was quite full and meant that she was a little bit agitated. So it seemed, rather than the complete novice who's only milked a goat 5 or 6 times, it seemed like the expert should probably do it and it would be a lot less cruel. But while Claire was here, we got talking on the subject of boar. Now, I find wild boar quite fascinating. The Forest of Dean has always had wild boar. Well, they had them until they, I believe, got hunted out and became extinct. But the Forest of Dean has boar once more. I thought that they were introduced from a commercial farm in France to repopulate the forest. But actually what it was during the recession, a commercial boar farmer in the area couldn't afford to feed his animals, so he just let them loose into the forest, which I think is probably great, apart from the fact that these are commercial boar that have now become feral boar, not wild boar, feral boar, but with the breeding habits of commercial boar, so they breed a lot. Now it's becoming a bit of a problem because as they're breeding a lot, they are getting braver and braver, and they've been attacking dogs that are off the lead. There's one local to here that they call Boris. Make of that name what you will. Boris apparently attacked one of the neighbour's dogs and it had to be stitched up. Look, I know they can get big. I startled one the other day during the day, and I didn't see the boar, but I saw the tops of its shoulders, which were about waist height, and I saw the destruction that it left in its wake. They are powerful. Now, I'm glad Claire and I got talking about this today because last night I had 2 visitors. As you can see, boom, bang in the middle of the Forest of Dean. And I heard some noise last night. I heard the rustling of 2 boar foraging. So I came out to try and get a video. Well, I didn't go out of the property. That would be insane. I stood and tried to film over the fence, but it was too dark to actually get any footage. But what I did get, as I disturbed the boar, sadly, what I did get was the sounds of 2 very, very angry snorts from one of the boar. And then what you get to see is the moment where I lost my confidence a little bit, which I'm not ashamed to admit. Yeah, I'm staying well away from Boar while I'm here. The last job of tonight is to put the chickens to bed. Actually, they're pretty good at putting themselves to bed. One or two do go AWOL and end up in that tree just there. But it looks to me as if they've all taken themselves to bed. Now, have they put themselves in the right beds? Some of the Euro chicks have a bit of an issue about going in the old birds' chicken coop shed. So let's see what happens tonight. So there's 3 old birds, and then there's one rogue bird there, and another one in that little box there. So how many do I have in this one? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello you. 6, 7. That's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8 there. Okay. Let's see how many we have in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Round your heads. 4 there. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're missing one. So we're supposed to have 14 chickens. We've got 13 chickens, which means one of them is hiding from me. And now I need to go and find it and get it back into its home. So it turns out I can't actually count because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. Okay, ladies, thank you so much for all your hard work today. See you later on. Have a good night's sleep. See you tomorrow for more shenanigans. Hey, so we're back in London now. Wow, bit of a culture shock. The forest is just amazing. I was a bit concerned about the solitude and about being alone for a week, but wow, I embraced it. I loved it. And obviously living in London, it's not something that you ever get is solitude. There are always people around you all the time. So Dexter and I, we're back in London. We had an amazing time. It was certainly tiring. There were long days. We were starting at 6 in the morning, we were finishing at 10 at night, and maybe an hour break in the middle of the day where you can maybe have a little bit of a nap. But other than that, it was just constant. It was just non-stop. Heavy, hard, but ultimately soul-filling work. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can imagine in the winter months it might get a little bit more bleak maybe when it's darker and a little bit wet, but there are always jobs to do. It's certainly not a place where you can have like a duvet day, because if you do, then, well, you've got twice as much work to do the next day, and also you've got things that are relying on you. You've got all the animals and all the crops and things like that. So it's certainly not something where you can really take a foot off. It's just the most amazing, soul-filling experience I've ever had. Could I do it as a lifestyle choice? Yeah, I could, but not by myself. I think I would need to have someone else in my life to be able to share the workload and just to be able to share the experience, because it's such a beautiful thing to do. Now, we've been back for a little while from the forest. Certainly that was filmed last summer, but we've been back quite a few times since then, and well, there have been a few new additions. How how cute are they? That was Harry and that was Neville, but I think there are about 8 baby goats, kids, there now, and there have been a couple of lambs being born in the last week, some new chickens. We saw chickens hatching whilst we were sat having our dinner a few weeks ago. It was just it's just the most amazing place in the world. Anyway, this channel is going to be mostly going back to interviews with people from the theatre and TV world now, but I will still be posting some videos from the forest and from my time there. If you want regular information and regular updates, then I would strongly advise giving Mud to Plate a subscribe. That is the channel that we've set up that is solely going to concentrate on all things smallholding. So, give them a shout. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. But until then, thank you very much from me and from Dexter. Goodbye.